It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the recently launched Marks & Spencer's Helles Lager. It's been brewed by Harbour Brewing Company in the UK. We've got a 330ml can, 4.5% ABV. I like the look of it. Marks & Spencer's are really pushing this beer. I bought this beer a couple of months ago and I went to Marks & Spencer's again just a few days ago, and they're putting this beer on the end of aisles, and they're really kind of pushing this forward, which is really good. Really good to see that they're trying to push their own brand lager. I like a Helles lager. I think it's going to be one of the styles to look out for end of 2021, 2022, certainly. So without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we... Ooh. That's interesting. Not a great start, but I always open my beer over the sink, and I always open my beer over the sink for this very reason. Now, even having this beer for a couple of months, it really shouldn't be doing that. It's a lager. It shouldn't be... It shouldn't have any kind of second fermentation in the can. But there we go. We move on. We lost a little bit of beer. Hey ho. It really wasn't that much. It's a 330ml can, and there's the 300ml line. So by the time the head dissipates down, I think we probably lost 30 milliliters of beer, which is a mouthful. We lost a mouthful of beer, but it looked dramatic, didn't it? And of course, if you're opening the beer in your living room on your cream carpet or your cream sofa, you're not going to be very happy, are you? So maybe it's just a batch issue. Maybe it's just it needs revisiting in the future. But actually, if you've bought this beer, comment in the comments box. Did you have a similar situation to me where you had a little bit of overfill? Overspill. Right, one finger white head, slow moving carbonation. It's a slightly strange colour as well for a Helles lager. It looks a bit dull. It looks a bit... looks almost too murky. It needs to be a bit brighter, I think, lighter and brighter, but never mind. And there's a little bit of haze going on there. Let's get the aroma. Here's the important part. It smells pretty decent. Now, just last week I was in Germany reviewing Weinstefana's new Helles lager. They're the oldest brewery in the world, and they produced an absolutely stunning, relatively new Helles lager to the market. And I've just reviewed that a week ago, drinking Helles lagers in Germany last week. So I got a really good idea as to what I should be expecting from this. Let's there's a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of spice. It smells really crispy, which it should. Let's dive in. Cheers. I think we've got to realise here that we've got British breweries trying to produce classic kind of German styles of beer, and there needs to be a little bit of wriggle room. What I'm getting here is an ale company, Harbour Ales. They produce some really good beers, some really good ales, they really do. But they're used to producing ales, and I don't think... I've never had a lager from these guys before, so they've had a go at lager in here, and it's not bad. It really isn't that bad. If you're drinking this beer, if you bought this beer as somebody with, say, only a little bit of knowledge in the beer world, then you're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this. It's going to be right up your street. It's very well balanced. There's a level of sweetness. There's a little bit of bitterness, which, again, the Helles Lager is a scaled back version, if you like, of a Pilsner. So Pilsners are generally really bitter, and Helles Lagers are kind of the step before that. They're not as bitter. Now, to the people who really, really know their beer and will really kind of go on Untapped and rate this beer and have tried lots and lots of Helles Lagers before, this bit's for you. It's not crispy enough. It's just not crispy enough. It's too sweet. It definitely is too sweet for a Helles Lager. It's just not crispy. It's just not crisp enough. It's just not quite there. It's a shame. It's a shame because it's close. It's close. Maybe in the future, maybe Harbour can scale back a little bit on that sweetness, and maybe they can make it a little bit more drier, a little bit more crispy, a little bit more inviting. But it's a good first attempt. It really is a good first attempt. It's an attempt whereby, again, I'm going to go back to it. It's an ale company being asked to produce a lager. I think in the future you're going to see a lot of ale companies producing lagers, because I certainly think that lager is going to be the next frontier. It's going to be the next thing. Absolutely, kind of, it's almost nailed on that lager is going to be the next frontier for the craft beer community to behold. I think there's a lot of breweries pushing towards lager, and there's a lot of people, including me, that wants to drink a really good quality lager. So I think going forward, the quality will only get better. The price of equipment will come down. If more breweries are buying kind of lagering equipment, then of course supply and demand, the price of equipment comes down. More brewers are going to buy the right equipment. They're going to learn to use it properly, and the quality of the beer will get better and better, trust me. But at this stage, for this beer, it's a good attempt. It's a good attempt. But it's nowhere near the same level as the Weihenstephaner Hells that we had in Germany last week. It's just, the level of sweetness of the beer is far too high. They need to cut back on the sweetness and just make it more crispy and dry and... Right, not much to say on this can, to be honest, either. Just the ingredients. Oh, there we are. What are they doing? What are they doing? Hopefully you're still here at the end of this review. Right, I've not read the side of the can at all. This is just something I've picked up now, and I wish I spoke about it at the beginning of the review, because I know some of you have disappeared by now. The ingredients are water, malted barley, hops, yeast, and sugar. They've added sugar to the beer. What are they doing? There's no need to add sugar to the beer. What? And that's the whole problem. That's the whole problem of this Helles Lager, is the fact that it was too sweet. Remove the sugar, crack on, it'll be absolutely fine. There's no need to add sugar to your beer. Ah, man, I wish I spoke about this. I wish I read the ingredients. I like to go into my reviews blind, I really do. I'd rather just give my own interpretation, which I have done. I've said it's too sweet, but I wish I spoke about this to begin with. Way too sweet. Okay, that's a look at Marks & Spencer's Helles Lager. I think there's a massive room for improvement. I mean, it's a simple fix for me. Just remove the sugar, and you will have a really, really good beer. M&S with your Helles Lager, and Harbour if you're watching. But at this stage, it needs changing. The recipe needs tweaking. I like it enough to give it a 6 out of 10. It's a 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.